Ghana could end the import of rice in 2 years as the Jospon Group partners investors from Thailand to establish rice farms in all 16 regions of Ghana. The partnership will also witness the establishment of rice milling plants and an organic fertilizer hub to feed the industry. The value of rice imports rose from $151 million and at a Jubilee House to announce the partnership, the Chief Executive Officer of Jospon Groups, Joseph Siao Japon, said venturing into rice production needed skills and technical knowledge to increase yields. That's the need to woo investors with the right experience and mechanical assets into Ghana.
To Exim, through the assistant of Dr. Sita, that the equipment that we want to purchase from them, how do we get the financing? Your Excellency, it might interest you to know that they are ready to give us a facility of about $160 million. And so, as we speak now, Dr. Sita have brought 20 Thailand guys, people here with manufacturers that are going to facilitate it up to help out. This morning, we met the Minister of Finance and is ready to support with any kind of form of assistance to do that. Then we have a business forum in Thailand, and then we establish a company called Asian African Corporation that will facilitate all these logistics and the personnel that are coming here to support us. And then we sign MOUs with companies there, and then they have come down. Now, what we have done since we came from 26 November, we've met where our idea is that the whole country, we are going to grow rice. So from the northern to the southern part. So we are developing 16 teams, so 16 Thailand teams to work with the outgrowers and farmers to grow. And within 2 years, we will stop importing rice. So we have met the stakeholders, and then we have engaged them and discussed with them that the available lands that are ready, we'll look at it and see. Then we visited farms. Some of the Thailand guys have visited the existing farms, and then some of them have visited rice mills also to ascertain the situation there and then to get it up. Then we've met all these association groups. We've met all of them from Ministry of Agri, Ministry of Trade, every GIZ and all the other people. We've met all of them to discuss how best we can form a consortium, because this is not an individual company's objective, it's a national issue. And then we've also visited institutions, KNUST, Legon, Agri colleges, also to have a discussion with them how best we'll be able to deal with them. And Dr. Sicha has arranged that 20 of them will be going to Thailand March to go and also train there. So while the farmers are here from Thailand, students are also going there to learn, and then we will all sponsor the whole thing up, and then they will come and impact the country. Then these are the bankers. ABSA, Zenith, GT Bank have promised to give guarantee to the financing so that it will bring the equipment here. About 100, let's say, harvesters, tractors, and all the implements. Because the timing is that within 2 years we must stop importing rice. Currently, we are importing about $800 million to $1 billion. We want to stop it within 2 years. The farmers that have come here that they brought, some of them are staying 6 months. So the next planting season from March, April, they'll be planting with their local people.
In the firm view of the President Akufo-Addo, it was criminal for Ghana to have so many arable lands, water, and favorable weather conditions, yet continue to import over $2 billion worth of rice. He declared government support for the project.
It is about the possibility of the partnership and the collaboration that we will develop with you and investors from Thailand. It's our big issue now in our country, how we develop our own self-sufficiency and food security. We spend a lot of our money importing foodstuffs into Ghana, and it's been going on for too long. And I think that now is the time that we are going to have to make these systematic efforts to be self-sufficient and depend on ourselves for the things that we eat. Countries like yours and others have done it, and if you've done it, others can also follow and emulate your example. And I'm excited by the idea of getting into bed with people who are known to have succeeded in doing what we are now going to try to do. Dr. Japon has already talked about the amounts of monies we spend. I think we import, half of our needs. So it's $1.2 million tons is what overall is destined for the Ghana market, of which 600,000 is imported. We should be able to do something about it. And I'm particularly encouraged that in so doing, we will also be hopefully moving towards a system of agricultural imports that reduces our dependence on chemicals. That now we're going to be dealing with organic fertilizers, which is better for our soil, which is better for our pocket, and generally is environmentally very much more conducive and friendly than what we have been using up till today. And if we're able to develop that here in Ghana, it will mean that in a future Ukraine, we wouldn't have to worry ourselves too much and be so dependent on others. So you're very welcome. And I'm hoping that the days that you're spending here, that we can have some concrete understandings and arrangements with the various stakeholders in our industry, so that when you go back, there's a whole roadmap of how we're going to develop this relationship. We want to be able to work very closely with you to achieve our common goals. You have a new market to develop, and we have a development that will also make sense for our future. So let's hold hands and do something profitable for you and for ourselves.
Well, even before this agreement takes off, the Central Region has taken the lead by initiating a 5-year strategic plan aimed at making the region a major rice production hub in the country. Regional Minister Justina Marigold Asan says the region is partnering some international pro-agri agencies to provide equipment and other implements that would help shore up agricultural production in the region.
Our quest to make the Central Region the hub of rice production is also on course. The Regional Directorate is currently designing a 5-year strategic plan to grow rice in many districts. You'll be updated as and when the plan is completed. I also want to thank KOICA, that's the Korean International Cooperation Agency, for their continuous support to improve rice production in the region. I have been told that KOICA has given us some rice seeds to also expand the production of rice in the region. Already they are in 5 or 6 districts already supporting them. So this is to support us to give the seed rice to other districts so that all of us will be able to produce. Thankfully, Mr. President said the importation of rice is going to be banned. So we need to start quickly. So by the time any incentive is coming, we are already on the field. So when it gets to your district, please let us support it so that I have taken the land already. I want to go into rice production.
So what's our strength in rice production in our current situation? Let's see these pointers for more, and just right on your screens. Ghana spends an estimated total of 6.874 billion on the importation of rice between 2017 and 2020. In 2020 alone, Ghana imported $391 million worth of rice, with rice being the 3rd highest imported good only before petroleum products and cars. This is equivalent to 950,000 tons of rice. Those are the figures. Local rice production is in the range of 302,000 metric tons and 987,000 metric tons. That's 181,000 to 62,000 metric tons of milled rice, with large annual fluctuations. Now, the total rice consumption in 2020 amounted to about 1,450,000 metric tons, which is equivalent to per capita consumption of about 45.0 kilogram per annum. So look at these figures, and then you would realize that this partnership may bring a lot of relief. The government has a goal of making Ghana a self-sufficient rice producing country in 2024 by ensuring the sustainability and comprehensive development of rice crop. And now, talking about the latest arrangement between Jospon Group and Thailand to shore up Ghana's rice production Former Deputy Minister of Agriculture, Ibrahim Juma Odum, is raising some red flags. He's also spearheaded the Nigerian rice revolution. You remember that. He'll be joining us for that conversation. But right now, we have the president of the Ghana Rice Producers Association, Aneje Aye. He's also joining us via Zoom for more. I'm grateful for your time, Nana Aye. Hello, Nana.
Hello, thank you very much.
Great. So this must definitely come as a relief. How does this partnership come across to you?
Well, good morning to all. And what can I say? If you look at the idea, you look at what is happening in the rice sector in Ghana, why will you say no to such a project? I've had a conversation with the Just group, and to be honest with you, my concerns are limited now because we haven't gotten the details yet. But with what he is saying now, he's just going to enhance the current programs that we have in Ghana. This is a very huge undertaking. And the only thing we can say is to support. If I have my doubts or if I have anything, I'm just going to keep it to myself because you need to give everybody an opportunity and a chance to sell their ideas. So why should I have a position of creating doubt and raising some red flags? And I have no reason to do that. We, the farmers, I'm a farmer myself. I farm cocoa and rice. And currently, from what the gentleman has presented, we are supportive of such a program.
Let's look at the deficit we have in terms of rice production and what difference this could make.
Yes, if you look at the deficit, you know, I live along the Tema motorway. Sometimes in the morning, when I'm getting to town and I see articulated trucks of rice heading from the port to the warehouses in Ghana. To be honest with you, I get a little bit sad and a little frustrated. I'm always looking at when that trend will change so that we can also be exporting. If you look at the deficit that we have currently, it's huge. So if somebody has an idea to curtail or stop gradually the importation of rice, I think we need to support it.
There are already concerns that the 5 people with whom we're having this partnership may have an upper hand and for that matter may benefit more than us. I know you haven't seen the contract yet or the MOU yet, but what do you think?
Who are the 5 people you are talking about?
The Thailand, I mean those from Thailand.
Oh, the Thai, okay, I didn't hear you well.
Yes.
How are they going to have an upper hand? From the information that we have, they are here to work with our farmers and our millers. I don't know anything behind what I have just said. What I am going to wait is to see the detail. When they start working and we see that there's something that we need to correct or advise or, you know, talk about, we will do that. But currently, why should I have any doubt? Because the gentleman hasn't brought his detailed program to us as yet. So let's wait and see what he has. But initially, if you're a rice farmer and you are in the industry like I am, such a move is a good one.
Well, the president has given his endorsement to this partnership, but for you as a president of the Rice Producers Association, what are your expectations as far as this partnership is concerned?
Well, my expectation for this program is that the gentleman is going to engage the current farmers here. When we farm, you see, if you look along the value chain, we fall short in all the areas. So as a farmer, I want to be able to farm twice in a year. So if this program is coming to allow me to do twice in a year, because don't forget, rice is just about 3 months, then your crop is ready to be harvested. So if this program is going to allow me to harvest 2 times in a year, it's going to allow me to sell my produce, it's going to develop my fields for me. Why not? I am expecting this program to do all that, so that at the end of the day, I can make some money to feed my family.
Right. So we've been joined by former Agric Minister, Ms. Ibrahim Juma Odum, who's raising... so I'll have you hold on for me, Nana Aye. Let me bring in Ms. Ibrahim Odum on this one. He has challenges with the partnership, and he feels that the Thais may have an upper hand over us, and therefore they may benefit the more. So Odum, what exactly are your challenges?
I'm sorry, I'm not a former Minister of Agric. I was a former deputy Minister of Government.
Thanks for the correction, sir.
And then a former Deputy Minister for Health.
Definitely. And I know you played a key role.
I work with Kufuor Foundation as a policy advisor.
Right.
In the Competitive African Rice Initiative.
Great. Great. So what exactly are your challenges with this partnership?
One, I think Nanaya is there. He knows that ECOWAS has started a program, which program ECOWAS is targeting that all the West African countries will win themselves out of importation of rice. That is number one. Number two, we all saw what happened, the challenges that we went through when there was COVID, and challenges that we have gone through under Ukraine, and the challenges that we are going through in the dollar escalation. So that if local people have been able to sustain and come to a level that Bank of Ghana have been able to say that we are not going to support importation of rice, then one would think that we will take this advantage to develop our local partners to a level that we think must go. Nigeria have done it. They didn't go to import people. Let us also even go into our history. We were here when the Malaysians came here with their group to come and learn how to do oil power. They didn't troop our people over there. They came to do study here and then send the technology there. And now they are doing amazing things with oil power. We were here when, in Nkrumah's time, we had Falco. And Falco now is sitting there like a white elephant. So my view, my candid opinion, is that as Nanaya himself is saying, we have potential people here. Why don't we look inside here so that we will have a homegrown solution? Because I am afraid Thailand people who are coming, don't forget, Nigeria and Ghana were importing from them. So as they are coming here, if per chance or per any other thing, they don't help us, but rather derail us so that we will go back to them to import. That is my fear and my worry. Because opportunities of this nature come but one. And Kwame Nkrumah said when he was quoting Shakespeare, there comes a moment in one's time, very difficult to discern, but very fatal to let it slip. Ghana is having a moment of rice development. And then if we are not careful and we miss it, we are going to be in the downturn. That is really my challenge with the project. Zoom Lion, fantastic. He is a businessman. He is not much into the rice industry. Has Zoom Lion looked for people in Ghana? Has Zoom Lion looked for people in Ghana who could help him? Because the Thais, they are just like us. When I was in Nigeria, I visited Thailand. They don't have the land that we have. They don't have that land. They don't have that luxury. We have a luxury. Nanaria, he knows it. Central region alone can produce all the rice that we need. And currently, we've started a Korea base. They brought only few people to help Central region to develop their rice industry. So my challenge and my fear that people will come in, do it, and at the end of the day, the repatriation of profit alone can put so much pressure on our local, our local currency. That is my fear. And I believe now we have what it takes to do it. We have a lot of research people. The other day, Nanaya himself is aware. Professor Hans Edu, they are all there. They are ready. Academy of Arts and Science. There are a lot of experienced professors and doctors who are ready to help Ghana come out. We have people like John Manfo, who work with African rice. The man is sitting here in Ghana. He was in African rice for almost 12 years. He's here in Ghana. Can't we tap on the experience of such people to do our homegrown rice? Because at the end of the day, whatever those people are bringing down here, I believe we have men and women who are capable of doing it here. That is my concern.
Mr. Odum, I agree, and I'm happy that you mentioned that there was a time when we had to go to other countries to learn how they do things and come back. And that, I mean, those people didn't ask Ghanaians to come there, but they came to learn from us just to go and better theirs. The Thais are known for their expertise in rice production. I mean, the finishing, the refinery, they're known for that. And that's why we import a lot of rice from Thailand. Don't you think this is like an expertise that we could benefit by tapping in?
Okay, so that the point I'm making, if our brother Zoom Line is ready for that kind of development, he can pick people in Ghana here. It can be young graduates to go and understudy like the Malaysians did. Like the Malaysians did. I remember, for instance, between Zoomline, he knows it. Before he started Zoomline, I have started a similar thing at Chufupraso. It was what he used, what he went to learn, and then started Zoomline. And he knows it between me and him. He knows it. And he didn't go to any other place to learn that one. It was a homegrown solution. So my thinking is that Zoomline can pick some of these our young guys. We have a lot of them coming out. Take them to China to go and learn. After all, when China wanted to develop to the level that they are now, I tell you, madam, I've been to China several times, and I keep on asking them their secret. They said those were the days they will send about 50 or 60 of their students to Oxford, to Harvard, to go and learn. And then they had an agreement with them. When you finish, you are bonded to come back to China to work. So if now China has what they are doing now, it was because of a deliberate policy of getting their youth, into expertise. And that is what they are doing. So I think that it's not a matter of trooping so many down here. One or two people can come. But then he must also see to it that we have people here who are capable of doing that could help him achieve what he wants to achieve.
Nanaye, you heard what Mr. Ibrahim Jumaudum said, and the fact that we have people in Ghana who can actually do the job. We didn't need the Thais to come in.
He's a rice miller and a farmer. He's a rice miller and a farmer.
Nanaye, do you have the capacity to actually produce in that large quantity? Hello, Nana.
I appreciate, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Good. I appreciate Mr. Odum's concern. Don't forget, he's a good friend of mine. We are from the central region. We've done a lot of work on rice together, so I know where he's coming from. You see, the difference here is that, before I answer your question, I want to touch base on Mr. Odum's concerns a little bit.
Go ahead.
The difference here is that I think I will advise him to hold on a little bit. Let's look at the details. The little I have known from the Just Fund group is that the Thais coming here are coming to train in certain areas that we are lacking. Two, he's going to sponsor, the group is going to sponsor some of our young men from the agri colleges to Thailand to go and advance on some of the things that they know here. I think you can't go wrong with that. In terms of capacity, currently, what we are doing here, if we are going to do the same thing, I don't think we'll be able to meet the supplies. This group coming are going to work with people like Mr. Odum, Mr. Marfo, that he's mentioned, and Professor Hans. I know all these people. So we should all be patient a little bit. Let's look at the details that will come out. If the details are things that is not going to do well for us as a country or as farmers and millers or in the rice sector, I think we'll voice certain things out. So, Honorable Odum, let us look at the details. The guys coming here, I don't think for one bit we are going to allow them to ignore people like him and other experts in the field to come and do whatever they want to do.
Mr. Odum, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, he made mention of the Malaysians coming here in the 60s to come and learn how to do oil palm plantation and going back to develop theirs. Good. Things have changed a little bit. Now we have experts also coming in here to develop us the areas that we cannot do. Currently, I live in the central region and we produce rice, but I only do once in a year. Why? Because my fields are not developed. I tried doing certain things myself. And before I could say Jack, I was trying to develop a field in the central region where I come from, in the Asin North area. Before I could say Jack, I've spent over $135,000. These things are very expensive. So if we are bringing people who have knowledge on these areas to come and develop our sector for us, I will advise that I appreciate his concerns. Let us all be a little patient. Look at what they are coming to do. If it's not going to do well for us, we will talk about it.
Mr. Odum, does this settle your concerns?
We are in this country when we allow people to bring in all sorts of agriculture input. And Nanaya knows that our land and our soil is so much compromised. The use of some chemicals and the use of some fertilizers have not helped us. If our farmers are not making it, it is because as a country, we didn't have a gateway to screen all these things. And we allow people to come in so that our soil are no more, productive again. And as a country, I think that we need to beef up our agricultural intelligence. The current intelligence that some of us are picking is that we are not safe when we allow these foreigners to come into our country in that drones. Because at the end of the day, some of them have ulterior motives. They have people who have come here only to come and even compound a problem for us. Let me tell you something. Like he said, currently, some of us, we are doing a research on something. Zero input production as against the current input production. Current input of production of, say, maize is getting to about 4,000 something because we need fertilizers, you need the urea, you need the pesticides, all these things. So at the end of the day, the farmers start producing and it is at a high cost. And then we are sitting here and we think that we need to get the farmer, we need the farmer to sell at cheaper price. The farmers cannot do that. But some of us, we have started using poultry manure, where we have reduced the cost of production of maize per acre drastically from about 4,000 to about, say, 2,000 or even 1,000 plus. These are the kind of initiatives that I believe that as a country we must go on to help our local people do it. And there are a lot of people, scientists around. There are a lot of people who have gone out of extension services who can provide such services for us. That is my worry. My worry is for the next generation. It's not for current. And I tell you, Nanaya himself knows it. If we Ghana want to do it with the local materials like him and some other people, I can assure you in 2-3 years, we'll be able to get out of this rice importation. I
am definitely certain that once we get details of this partnership or once they seal things up, the issues will come up. And just like Nanaya rightly said, when the issues come up, they will definitely raise it. So we see how it goes. I'm grateful to you, gentlemen. Ibrahim Juma Odum, former Deputy Agric Minister, and Nanaya, President of the Rice Producers Association. I'm grateful for your time, gentlemen. Now, there's heavy security presence on the University of Ghana campus as old vandals are massing up to protest against the university management's decision to expel continuing students from Mensa, Saba, and Commonwealth halls. The old vandals are giving solidarity to current students against what they call victimization by school management to expel them from the traditional halls. Now, my colleague James Aveji, he's there and he joins us live from campus. James, what can you report from the University of Ghana campus?
Okay, Aisha. So this morning, as you may see at the background, the old vandals have converged this morning to give their solidarity to the juniors who are on campus against what they describe as victimization from the school's authorities.
What exactly are the issues? What exactly are the issues they're raising, James?
Okay, so earlier in the week, or last week, we had a press conference from the students, the old vandals, who are saying that they do not agree with the school's management decision to expel the continuing student from the Mensa Saba Hall as well as the Commonwealth Hall. If you remember, late last year, there was a clash between the two halls during their SRC week celebration. The school promised that they would look into the matter and come out with some measures to help forestall the occurrence of such clashes. And we had a statement from the school earlier saying that they have suspended the hall master as well as the senior tutor of the school. Recently, the school says that they are going to suspend the ongoing student or the continuous student from staying in the halls. Their doors will be open to only the level 100 students to be admitted to this traditional halls, which is the Commonwealth Hall as well as the Mensa Saba Hall. And so this morning, the old vandals are here in order to show some solidarity to the ongoing students against the decision of the school with what they call is the victimization of the student. Let's interact with some of them to see exactly what brought them to campus this morning. And I have here an old vandal. Tell us your name.
Chief Labuta, but my actual name is Daniel Eduakon, President of Old Vandals UK.
Okay. This morning you are here. What exactly are you asking the school management to do for you as far as the Commonwealth Hall is concerned?
Okay, let me tell you exactly why we're here today. Then I'll go to answer your question straight away. What's happening at the moment? The most pressing issue is making all the continuing students non-residential. That's the crucial issue now. But it goes back from an incident which supposedly happened around Saba Hall, supposed to be a confrontation between vandals and Saba Hall. Up to date, we don't know what actually happened. Even if there was a single vandal involved, We don't know. We have no idea. The university is doing their investigation. So far, we don't know of any conclusion, any findings from the investigation. But they've gone ahead to impose sanctions on Commonwealth Hall. They've suspended our hall master, our senior hall tutor. But don't forget, they say it happened between vandals and Sabah Hall students. As I speak, Sabah Hall master is in position. Their senior hall tutor is in position, you know. So we don't understand why ours are suspended, when in fact the action didn't even happen in Commonwealth Hall. Okay, so why we've gathered here today as old vandals. This is a gathering of old vandals, but some of the current students are here with us. But we're here to show that we are still behind them. We are one vandal family. Nothing can break us apart. They have our support. The agenda of the university, one of them is to break the link, the bond between the alumni. This alumni that we have, all the others don't have. That's one thing that we cherish. It's a tradition that's been here for decades. And for somebody to think they can come and just, you know, disrupt it and break the bond between us and the young ones, that can never be done. So we're here as all vandals to show that we are standing shoulder to shoulder with our boys, because what the tradition that they want to collapse, it's not just going to affect the current students, it has implication for the alumni and for those who are aspiring to come to the University of Ghana and especially Commonwealth Hall. So now they're saying they're moving them from the government halls, the public halls, and they're paying, is it 1,500 now? Yeah, about 1,500 a year. Now,
so they said they are moving you from the traditional halls into either the other halls on campus, or the students are going to seek accommodation from the private hostels. Now, you said the school, after the class, said they are going to investigate and institute measures in order to curb future occurrences. What about if the school says that taking the continuing student from the halls is a measure in order to prevent the recurrence of the clash in the future? Is that not a step in the right direction?
I tell you what, this is like killing an ant with a sledgehammer. This is way over the top. They are installing cameras all over the campus, and if they can do that and find out whatever is happening on campus, why do they need to go beyond that and make poor students who can hardly afford the 1,500 they're paying now? Listen, I mean, where's the justice in this? Somebody has come to the university first year expecting to complete 4 years course. Yeah? The family have done all they can to pull together the 1,500 a year. Even that, some of them pay by installments. So now you're telling that person midway through their course that you're going to move them to a residence where they're going to pay 4 times what they are paying now. More or less, you're telling them, sorry, you can't carry on with your course because you don't have money. They cannot afford it. They cannot afford it, and it's against natural justice to, you know, pull somebody out of school just because you denied him the legitimate expectation that he's going to be in the hall for 4 years paying the public rate, the government rates.
Okay. So in the face of all of this, what exactly are you asking the school management to do?
We are asking them to rescind that decision. I'm not even talking about the hall master, and that one we're fighting in court, and we are fighting this also in court. But we are asking them to think about that decision to make the students non-residential in public halls. So we are fighting it in court, but it will be easier and it will be less messy if they just think about what they've done, see where they've gone wrong, and restore the status quo.
Okay, so that's exactly what they want. They just want the school management to rescind the decision to expel the continuing student from the Commonwealth Hall as well as the Mensa Sabah Hall. That's the demands of the Old Vandal this morning as they converge on the University of Ghana campus. Aisha, so that's exactly what they are demanding.
James Aveje is our reporter who is stationed at the University of Ghana campus. We certainly will bring you more on this in our subsequent bulletins. But if you're traveling into Ghana from China, then be prepared to present a valid negative COVID-19 PCR test result before being allowed into the country. That's according to the Ghana Airports Company as it tightens measures to reduce the spread of COVID-19 virus. This was contained in a statement released earlier on new guidelines to be implemented at the Kotoka International Airport. Now, a member of the Health Committee of Parliament, Charles Agbavi, has also applauded that statement by the Ghana Airport Company for swift action it has implemented. But this is the statement that was released by the Ghana Airport Company. All persons arriving in Ghana who are fully vaccinated will be exempted from any form of testing done either prior to boarding from originating countries or on arrival in Ghana, except passengers originating their journey from China. Now, passengers originating their journey from China will be required to present a valid negative COVID-19 PCR test result 48 hours prior to departure from originating country. Such passengers will undergo mandatory COVID-19 testing on arrival at the Kotoka International Airport at no cost. So this is the statement that was released. All other passengers originating their journey from elsewhere other than China who are partially vaccinated or unvaccinated will be required to present a valid negative COVID-19 PCR test result 48 hours prior to departure from originating country. Now, such passengers will be required to undergo mandatory COVID-19 testing on arrival at the Kotoka International Airport, also at no cost. Now, airlines that bring passengers to Kotoka International Airport who are not fully vaccinated or passengers originating their journey from China without a valid negative COVID-19 PCR test result 48 hours prior to departure will be surcharged $3,500. We can now listen to Charles Agbeve, who has applauded the Ghana Airport Company for the swift action it has taken.
When pandemic strikes, it doesn't know diplomacy. Let me just go to the layman's street language. What does diplomacy got to do with the pandemic spreading into your country? We are not in the position to allow our economy to go into the kind of crisis we've been into. We cannot afford it. Listen, look, I'm happy and extremely happy the Ghana Health Service has been very proactive in taking this decision. I was talking to Dr. Bequin, the Public Health Director at the Ghana Health Service. He and the DG, the Director General, are at the airport today. Today, second. They are there making sure that what you just read as the new policy guidelines or directives to passengers are being implemented fully. And what I'm even more excited about is something we've all been talking about, that the Ghana Health Service should take over the testing of passengers at the Ghana airports. Gradually, they are moving towards that direction. And that is why it is free. But I'm very excited that these particular proactive measures have been put in place because what is happening in China, when you monitor, almost all countries are actually asking passengers coming from China, before you enter, you must do the testing or you will quarantine. I've seen Australian pass that policy statement. I've seen the European Union, even before Sweden takes over the European Union presidency, is tabling something on that already. And so it's become an international issue. And so Ghana cannot take the chances.
The Bantamahene Bafo Wusu Amankweti the Sixth has vowed to lead the mobilization of chiefs for the development of the Ashanti regional capital, Kumasi, if the KMA fails to do so. Bafo blames the KMA for the rampant mounting of kiosks and containers and allowing congestion at the city center, which he says is turning the once flourishing garden city into a village. Sharing his New Year's message, Bafo Wusu Amankweti the Sixth pointed out the city has become ungovernable, with perpetrators going scot-free.
Kumasi Metro houses a population of 3.63 million as at the end of 2022. The city is the largest in Ghana after the capital city Accra. The Kumasi city was referred to as the Garden City due to its green area cover and brilliant settlement layout. Underdevelopment emanating from issues of decongestion, open space fill, street markets and uncompleted government projects are eroding the said legacy of the city. According to the Bantamahene, Bafo Owusu Amankweti the Sixth, people with political authority have ignored calls for development of the city.
I had the opportunity to put this issue before the regional minister when he addressed the regional house. In fact, I told him that everywhere you go, you see these container structures. People are working on the streets, people are selling on the streets, cars are loading on the streets. Meanwhile, you go to some markets, these markets are empty. The pavements, are taken over by kiosks, these containers. And it's made Kumasi look like a village. What is happening at the moment is seriously an eyesore. To the extent that you see people selling tomatoes in front of Komfanoche Hospital. We have nobody to blame other than the KMA and then its assembly members. We know that the assembly members, they take money from people to put up these structures. This is a fact. They can deny it, but it's a fact. It's not anywhere that you can have these structures and do what you want. There are laws, there are regulations governing this city that must be adhered to in a strict sense. That is, you can't put up, these structures at unauthorized places. And this is what I believe the KMA should set itself up to do. We really want, a KMA that would be able to decongest the city of all these unauthorized dealings that are going on. That is the KMA that we want. We in Ananom, we don't have the political, power. In spite of the fact that the city belongs to us, the land belongs to us. But the political power is with the KMA. Come 2023, if they fail to do it, Nananom, we are going to take it upon ourselves to make sure Kumasi is clean. That one we have told them, and we are going to do it.
We're still live on Joy News desk. We'll take a break. When we return, we'll bring you sports. It's time for sports. I'm not happy this morning. What's wrong with that, folk?
I don't think there's a cause for panic at the moment yet, because it's just a first loss in the last 8 games that Hatofok have played.
But that's not acceptable.
It's the only bad thing has to do with the fact that probably didn't end your holidays well. Because
definitely.
Hatofok were looking to start the new year with a win, and that didn't happen. Because yesterday they lost to Bechem United, a side that I thought have been good, not probably on the part of Kumasi Asante Kotoko or Accra Hatofok, but then in recent times they've played some good football. And then you can't take anything away from the game yesterday. I thought Slavko Matic, the new Hatofok head coach, has done quite a good job on this team. I blame the fact that he's lost some players to the national team, the Black Galaxies, due to the fact that they are going to participate in the CHAN. Because if you look at the current squad of the Black Galaxies, they have about 3 or 4 Hatofok players. So it's taking some bit of quality in the Hatofok team. Yesterday, it was a case of Hatofok were going to win and then go to second position, because prior to that, the game between Aduana Stars and then Kumasi Asante Kotoko ended in a stalemate, which means Kotoko were on 18 and then Aduana on 20. Right. So had Hatofok won yesterday, they go on 19, which is just 1 point behind Aduana Stars. But that didn't happen. what means is that Hearts of Oak now dropped to 5th position on the log, and then Bechem United, having won, go into the top 4. Yeah. So the top 4 is now made up of Ediana Stars, Kumasi Asante Kotoko, Bechem United, and BBN Gold Stars. Okay. These are the 4 teams in the top 4. For Hearts of Oak fans, yes, as I've already mentioned,
we are disappointed already.
Yes, if you're disappointed, just know that the team is on a good course. There's a likelihood that we could see a much better Hearts of Oak going forward. Okay. I think one thing that has been evident in their play is the style of play. In previous head coaches, you don't see a pattern in the way they play. But then Matic comes in, he gets them playing in a certain way that you identify their kind of play, you identify their transitioning. It's just unfortunate they considered those 2 goals, because I wouldn't make it more of a defensive error. I thought Bechem United were blistering on the counter attack. Once they get to in that spot, there's no stopping them, and then that is one thing they utilize. A late equalizer from Robert Adosowa, but it wasn't enough for Hearts of Oak, who had to lose on the end. In terms of national duty, I think the Black Galaxies, we all know, were camping in Egypt for the past week. Today they end their campaign in Egypt. They will be traveling to Algeria for the CHAN tournament, which begins on January 13th. Let's not forget that the Black Galaxies had not been at the CHAN tournament for the past 7 years, so we get a chance to return. Ghana is in the group alongside Morocco, Sudan, and then Madagascar. So we are looking to make an impact. Well, head coach of the side, Arno Walker, says he's been impressed with the preparation they've had, because in the 2 games they played against Egypt's under-20 side, and then the Al Ali, Egyptian side Al Ali, they scored 5 goals. So in those 2 games, it tells you probably the team is getting to know each other better, and then they will gel with time. I believe before the start of the tournament, Ghana should be able to be in good shape, which has already been mentioned by Arno Walker.
Well, let's see how it goes. Lawrence, thank you so much for bringing us sports, and that's how we also wrap up News Desk this morning. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Log on to myjoyonline.com. There's more of the news updates of all the developing stories. See you again at 12.